Nah, mix everything. Yeah, buddy. All right.
Let me know when you. Oh, we already live.
We live, baby.
Oh,
We live
hey,
on Facebook and YouTube right now. It's gonna take a minute to get IG up in this thing.
that's all right. We good to go.
All
We
right,
are good
IG.
to
We
go.
about to go live on IG.
Right. Gotta
And we
get my.
live on IG. So we got the whole
There we go.
family here. So let me make one more adjustment. And everyone, welcome back to Technically Speaking. We are episode 12 now. We're a preteen, officially a preteen.
Preteen. Wet in the bed.
Yeah, hey, unstoppable blessing, man. Man, you are like more reliable than the dang popos, boy.
Yeah, yeah.
Man, look at that on IG. Shout out to Unstoppable Season, man. Uh,
Yes, sir.
so again, you tuned in to Technically Speaking, giving you tech news you
That
can
you can
use.
use. You
Let's
already know.
go. We got a special guest, and I got to introduce her. Her name is Bobby Lopez. She is a U.S. Army soldier who served her country honorably for what 17 years.
A little over 17 years. Still in,
Nope.
still in. So
Still
over
in.
17.
Yep. Thank you for your service, man.
Yes, thank you for your
Mhm.
service. Truly appreciate it.
So I
Appreciate the
invited
support.
Bobby here because we're gonna cover a topic tonight later that's gonna tap into her MOS background. What does MOS stand for, man?
MOS is your JOB. That's your military occupational specialty. I have two of them.
And break that
Nice.
down real quick because it's gonna matter later on in the show.
Sure. So, two MOSs. I'm a 38 Bravo Civil Affairs Specialist, but today what we're going to kick off is talking about my second MOS, which is in the cyber field, and that is electronic warfare. I am the electronic warfare officer at a quartermaster battalion.
Oh yeah, and that's gonna
Oh,
come back.
nice.
I'm a reference what she just said. So thanks for joining us, ma'am. It's time to kick this thing off. So what I want to do is talk about Friday, because there's something that hit the world, the whole entire world, Craig. And
Craig.
my Friday morning started off with a phone call from Bobby. Let everyone know what happened to you, Bobby, Friday morning.
So I woke up and came to log into my computer around 07:25 or so that I go to log in and get my day started, and I got a B-side. That's a blue screen of death. I had this blue
Oh,
screen with a very unhappy face, little cute QR code telling me that your account recovery could not be, established. Um, your Windows operating system is not starting up like it should. And so I went into oh crap mode and called my buddy Jeronimo
And shout
to
out
see
to
what was going
Genevieve.
on.
Shout out to
Yeah.
Genevieve on IG and hell nah on IG. I like that name. But so what had happened was, right? So not only was I getting calls from Bobby, I was getting text messages from my cybersecurity friends across the country. I had a text message from one of my boys in DC that works in cybersecurity, and he sent me that text at like 1 a.m. In the morning. I get up, I'm like, what's going on? And it said, hey, just letting you know, there's a CrowdStrike outage. Uh,
Oh,
and then I get a call from Bobby, and I'm getting a call from all kind of people about CrowdStrike, and I'm like, man. When she told me the situation she was having, right, the infamous blue screen of death, I was like, I wonder if that has anything to do with CrowdStrike.
Mhm.
I think we all know now that did have something to do with CrowdStrike. So by the time I got to the office, the whole IT team is scrambling. So um just to let y'all know, right? According to the Washington Post, that outage was caused from an update from CrowdStrike for all the Microsoft machines that had CrowdStrike installed on it. Y'all know how many devices that affected?
I can
Millions.
tell you. Well, let me just tell you what happened with me. I know it affected a whole lot of people because when I went on vacation, they're
Oh,
everywhere. They were like, "Sorry for any inconvenience. If you
mm-hmm,
buy something, you can't return it. We've been having outages." I was like,
mm-hmm,
"Wait, what?" I'm like,
mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm literally sitting. I'm in San Diego, like they in the Nike store. I'm like outages. They were like Microsoft. I'm like Microsoft. What?
Yep.
And then somebody at Costco was like, "Yeah, man, we've been hacked." I was like, "What?" So then I go online and I'm like, "Hey, Gmo, look at what's going on." He was like, "You on vacation, but this is really happening in real time."
He told me he was going to be off the grid. Well, you was forced to be off the grid.
I was forced to be off the grid. It wasn't done intentionally. Trust me.
So that outage impacted 8.5 million devices around the world.
Yeah.
8.5 million. So to his point, right? You were feeling it. Let me tell you the impact of what was felt. Airline systems were down here in the US, Europe, and Asia. As you shared, payment systems were down, shopping systems were down, 911 systems were down, banks in South Africa and New Zealand were down, the rail networks were down in Europe, the London Stock Exchange Regulatory News Service was down. And then today, Delta is in trouble. Basically, let me share this video real quick. This is like hot off the press from today, man. Let me go ahead and pull this thing up. I don't know if y'all seen this. Let me share.
All I know is I'm thankful that my credit card worked.
Right.
I've been stuck in San Diego. Like,
ooh.
Yeah.
Y'all can see that, right?
Yes, sir.
Is he gonna let me play? Like, come on now. Let me play, dog.
Well, you
it's that CrowdStrike.
It's Microsoft. You better off with Chrome.
I'm saying.
You better go to Chrome.
Is now turning
there we
into
go.
a federal investigation.
Wow.
Officials want to hear from Delta Airlines passengers left stranded after last week's global software outage.
Owen Kudrevich is at the Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. And Owen, how are things going down there?
Brian, Natalie, well, this airport is the biggest hub for Delta flights, and some people that I spoke with this morning have been stuck here overnight because of canceled flights, but Delta says they are working to get back on track. Delta CEO is saying 2 employees Monday.
And we got hip the ass. Anyway.
We've got everyone around the company working around the clock to get this operation where it needs to be. Keep taking great care of our customers and each other in the coming days. Air travel problems started when an update from the cybersecurity firm CrowdStrike caused Microsoft outages on Friday. More than half of Delta's systems around the world use Microsoft Windows. To make up for the delays and
so he did explain what happened in the video right there. There was an update that CrowdStrike pushed out, and it broke everything. It broke. So, and not only that, right? So according to Reuters, the stock price fell 13%. 13%. So if you out there shopping for some tech stocks, you're getting it on a discount. And we're getting questions on IG. Toto said, was that a cyber attack? Nope, it was just poor planning. And some of the press releases that came out this week, CrowdStrike blamed it on their test software. Their test software didn't catch some bad data that was in the update that they pushed out. Now, Bobby, with your cyber background, what do you think they should have done before they rolled out this update?
Before any update gets done like that, that should immediately be done in some sort of a staging environment before it gets pushed out into full-blown production. That's simple. That's basic stuff right there.
Yep.
So that it could have caught the bad data in that staging mode before it got pushed into any type of production environment. Simple stuff.
Hey, man, you test it before you push it out. I'm gonna tell you what, man. Somebody went on a permanent vacation. After that,
no, they went on a you got fired trip, and you probably go get arrested.
Toto on IG said risk management framework failed. Yes, it did. So yeah, that's what happened. So once I got to the office, I actually had to help the IT team because we had to fix everything. So they did push out, CrowdStrike did push out a fix, but we had to manually go in and actually go find that content file and remove it to get everything going. So we were working on Friday. And even still this week, we still got customers coming in and we're still applying that fixed action. And as you see, the whole world's still dealing with that.
in a major way. Because
Yeah, man.
with airlines being shut down, payment systems shut down. 9/11 systems were shut down. Banks in South Africa and New Zealand were shut down, and rail networks were shut down as well. Some I'm not gonna play conspiracy theorist here.
Please
However,
do.
That's supposed to wait till later in the episode. Now.
no. What I'm
Go
just saying
ahead.
is,
Full force. Full force. Let's go.
what I'm saying is it possible this could have been planned? And just
I'm
to see how we would react, see how soon we can recover in the midst of something else bigger happen in a different time frame.
What you think about that, Bobby?
I think you could be onto something. I
Um,
always feel like we are being tested at some point with different things happening globally to see how people respond, to see how chaotic it gets real quickly, and to see how fast we hit into recovery mode
right,
and what
right,
that looks
and
like. Yeah,
I'm
that's
laughing
what
I
because
I'm.
agree
on
with you.
IG, Toto said China owns CrowdStrike. LOL. They don't own the CrowdStrike. That's a Texas-based company.
Let me see
That's
your
funny though.
sources.
Is it? Is
No,
it?
so I mean, I see what both of y'all are saying, but I mean, their stock fell 13%. I don't think that they would be willing to sacrifice stock unless you're talking about some type of like insider threat.
Insider trading, insider threat. Um, the only
This
reason why I said that is it's so happening. All right, you guys just mentioned it, so I'm gonna say when you test something, you test it in stages, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then after you test it, you see where's the vulnerabilities, and you repair the vulnerabilities before it gets out of hand, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
What if this was a test, and then let's say 4 months down the line, this happens again, and think what's happening 4 months down the line.
I see what you're saying. I'm picking up what you're putting now. But
I'm not trying to go. I'm not trying to. What I'm saying is, that's the reason why I said putting on my conspiracy hat. Right?
Mm.
Just thinking about how at a pivotal time that systems can get shut down, where it can affect the entire country, which it
Mhm.
already did.
It affected the whole world.
Yeah, it affected the whole world. But I mean, just imagine it happening during a political season, which we're in right now, right?
True.
People go to cast their ballots, cast their votes, and at 8:45 a.m., first Tuesday in November, shit hits the fan.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, you got some folks on IG agreeing with you. Toto said, rogue employee in an unstoppable season said, I can see that CG, the calm before the storm.
Yeah.
I mean, and you know what? There have been stories we've covered recently about people from North Korea infiltrating U.S. companies, stealing U.S. identities, right? So maybe you might be on to something. I don't. If it is, I don't think it's any stakeholder in CrowdStrike, because I don't think they're willing to sacrifice their bottom line, right? Because that they hold 17.7% of the cybersecurity market, right? So that's a huge piece of the pie. They're not trying
That's
to
a big chunk.
sacrifice that money. So if anything, it could be an adversary, right? Maybe that person came in, maybe that got caught, and they was like, I did what I was supposed to do anyway. You're not
There
off,
you
because
go.
I forget which there was a story we put out on our Vongo Tech Bytes channel, and there was I think over 1,000 North Korean citizens that stole U.S. identities, and they got legit remote
Legitimate
IT jobs.
jobs, and they got legitimate tax returns.
Yup.
You see what I'm saying?
And yeah, because the real
Um,
folks, they got left with that tax bill.
there you go. And some of them they did it illegally because I know for certain and two things for sure that there's fraud involved as far as like individuals. Like my son, his biological father has the same name as him, and
Mm-hmm.
then I got hit with like there's a fraud on your son on my son's name tax return, and I'm like, what? I'm like,
Oh
he not even old
man.
enough to do taxes, right?
Mm.
So I'm fixing that situation with the IRS. So it goes to show you that, you know what I'm saying, age wasn't a factor in this. I think they just took somebody's name and probably took somebody's age and whether they were alive or not and just did what they did. And that's the
Yeah.
reason why I
Yep.
said, um, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I
I don't
truly think
think
that,
it's out of the realm of possibility. It's not.
yeah, right,
Yeah, when you put it that way, it's. I mean, we live in a time where anything could be possible. It could be.
right,
Mhm.
That rogue
yeah,
employee could have been someone that was sent from China or North Korea or Iran or Russia, i.e., the usual suspects when it comes to any type of cyber crime. That's what I call them,
right.
the
The
usual
usual suspect.
suspects. So, yeah, no, I mean, we're still recovering from that. It's almost a whole week later, and
Yeah.
as you see, Delta, they're about to be scrutinized
And don't
under
look.
investigation.
And if Delta got here, I'm pretty sure the other people, United, Southwest, they gonna fall in line too, because Delta is a big company as well. So I'm pretty sure they were affected as well. I
I
mean,
read that
it's always
Southwest wasn't affected.
they weren't.
Nope,
Oh, I
because they
guess.
have a whole different set of databases that they run off of.
Oh wow.
Mm. And
Okay.
they probably weren't using CrowdStrike. I mean, because this only impacted
Probably.
the Windows devices that had CrowdStrike agents installed on them.
Mhm.
So,
Got
and I hate doing this, man. I don't like giving Apple their props because I'm not an Apple fan, but this only impacted Windows devices. There's out there, okay? I said it. If
But
you had a
look,
Mac, you were good.
at the time being, we don't look. It's always a test. You never know. Mac may end up starting to suffer from the same thing because if it's coming, think about it. If this is actually the conspiracy part, you'll see something happen with Mac soon. But a lot of businesses don't use Mac devices for things of that large nature. They only use Mac more so for like entertainment and for
Or
like
developing.
developing. Yeah.
Yep,
So
developing
yeah.
multimedia type stuff, definitely. But yeah, no, if you had a Mac, you didn't feel
Mm.
it. So,
I didn't
but
unless it unless you was stuck in a situation where
unless
like
you were
me.
traveling or trying to, good point, good point. I mean,
Yeah, man.
yeah, good point. So the one thing, my takeaway from that was it this kind of showed how much the whole world just relies on tech, right?
Yeah.
That's like the new gasoline, right? Like we need gasoline. It's hard to operate in this world with no gasoline. We proved last week that it's hard to operate in this world without tech. That's
What do we
how
always say? Data is the new drug.
go.
And
It's the new drug,
AI is
baby.
the new plug.
Plug, baby. Yeah. Nah,
But
dude, we are addicted to that data. Look, case in point, right? Case
right,
in point. That's a whole different type of drought out here in these
exactly.
streets.
In these streets. Meantime, in between time, let's go ahead because you did touch on it just a bit. You said
Mm-hmm.
stocks took a dip. Now with these stocks, yeah, man, there's some people out there that's gonna be upset. I know I was when I looked at my portfolio. I was like, wait a minute, I didn't spend $500 of my portfolio. What the hell's going on? Because I was like, look, I could have used that $500 on vacation,
For
but
real.
you know what I'm saying? That took away from my stock. So I'm like, okay, let's going on. So courts reported that after Biden administration announced stricter trade restrictions under the Foreign Direct Product Rule (FDPR), and this was around the same time that situation that happened as well.
It was 2 days prior.
2 days prior. Okay, the Nasdaq fell 2.79. S&P 500 fell 1.32%. Nvidia fell 7%. Oh,
Ooh, I
Nvidia.
felt that. I felt that. I
I'm about
felt
to
that.
say, that had to hurt.
I felt that.
We was pumping up Nvidia for a long
Like,
time.
yeah, yeah.
Again, we are not stock professionals. We are not trade professionals.
Nope.
After talking
AMD,
about this,
yeah,
I came in real quick. I said, man, let me check my Robinhood real quick. Yo, it's looking like trash. Absolute
yeah, right.
trash. Like
Yeah.
everything is in the red.
All
Everything I'm
tech
looking at
stocks
is
are
red.
down right now.
Yeah,
Ugh,
man.
I'm
But
not
guess
gonna
who
look.
wasn't that down that bad?
Apple.
Apple.
You
They only
I see
dropped
how you
only
set me up for that. You
2.6%.
set me up. That was a setup. Because they only
Nah,
fell what 2.6%?
2.6. Google out of everybody was only 1.6. That's
Okay.
crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Which is
So
not bad, but I mean, it's like a loss is a loss. You know what I'm saying?
a
You could have
loss
spent
is a
that
loss.
money on a Whataburger.
What you know about Whataburger?
Man, I was when every time I travel outside of California, I'm like, where a Whataburger? I want a Whataburger.
Hey man, that
Looking for
spicy
them pebbles.
ketchup is legit right there. That's where I go.
Hey, the burgers is lit. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep it real. It's better
So
than In
no,
and Out.
yeah, all of them failed. Did you talk about Broadcom? Broadcom fell 7%. Meta fell 5%. Amazon was down 3%. Tech
Yeah,
stocks are down. They down right now.
they down. You know what I'm saying? They doing bad. You know
They
what I'm
doing
saying?
bad. But
But
I can explain why. So I gotta put my governance hat on, right? It's coming out right now. So you talked about the foreign direct product rule, right? So what I want to explain to folks, and again, we give you tech news you could use, right? This was
right.
a policy-based thing, right? Because I'm going back to what you said earlier. The Biden administration announced they were about to really start leaning into this rule. And what I want to break down, this rule falls under Title 15 of the United States Code, and that's what deals with commerce and trade in the US. So basically, this is a policy under the Department of Commerce that gives the sitting president and administration the rights to control how we deal with trade, right? That's what I want everyone to know. So this was a policy thing that impacted the market. I need people to know that, right? This is why it's important to read, folks. When we because we're gonna get to it. We are in election season, right? Policies
We
are
are.
important, and it's good to know that. So, and what I really want to show you real quick, I'm gonna show you that actual rule that caused all of this right now.
And go.
There you go. So here it is, right here. Boom. So this is the rule, Title 15, Subtitle B, Chapter 7, Subchapter C, Part 734, Section 734.9. Governance person, background. I had to get good at reading these policies, right? So this is the rule right here. It's the supercomputer FDP rule. I'll skip down to this part right here. Where are we at? The country and in use scope. Let's skip down. So what I want you to see, and basically what this rule talks about, if one of our ally nations, right, uses our equipment that we sold them to build anything, in this case, any parts like conductors, chips, anything that's going to be used for a supercomputer, right?
Right.
This subsection of the rule is saying that if whatever's being built using equipment from us, it's not allowed to be sent to the People's Republic of China. Need y'all to
Okay.
see that real quick.
So what
And
you're
then
saying is to keep it super simple, the KISS factor. Anything we let them use to build, they cannot let China use.
anything we let them use to build, that end product cannot be sold to
Yes.
China.
Cannot be so. So if we give them a steering wheel to make a car, that car cannot be sold in China.
That's a good example. Yeah, or specifically because it's dealing with tech stocks, right? We give them the hardware to make a microprocessor that goes into a computer that say was made in Japan. Japan cannot sell that to China.
Got it.
So what was happening was Japan was selling stuff with those products made with our equipment to China, and Biden's administration came in, was like, y'all gonna stop doing that, and if not, we're gonna cut you off. And that's what caused the whole tech market to dip.
Wow.
Oh yeah. And what's going on out there in that side of the world? Who makes 90% of the world's semiconductors that go into microprocessors?
China.
Close. It's something that China's trying to take back.
Isn't it Malaysia or
say it again?
Taiwan. She said Taiwan.
Ding, 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 ding. Taiwan. So now we're talking geopolitical issues, right?
Okay.
So Taiwan produces 90% of the world's semiconductors that are used for the microprocessors, right? So that's the whole reason why we protect them, because we don't want China getting access to that resource, because they could use them for those supercomputers.
Got it. So that's the reason why they have those fake iPhones.
Yo,
because I be seeing them, and everybody know you've been seeing places where they be trying to sell you this iPhone that looks the half the size of your palm, and it has those 3 cameras in the back, but it's trash. It looks trash, and they be like, "Oh, this is the new iPhone." No, it is the Y phone. Why you make that phone?
Hey, that's the Y phone. That ain't the iPhone. That's the Y phone.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why'd you do it? Like, why? That's not an Apple. That's an orange. That ain't a Mac. That's whack.
That's funny. What's your take on that, Bobby?
On the whole China issue?
Yeah. Well, that and the fact that this rule is what caused the tech stocks to fall.
You know, there's no return of investment without some risk. You got to be able to get some skin in the game in order for that investment to take place. And there's going to be times where that ROI, your return of investment, isn't going to be something that's immediate. It's going to be something that takes place over time. So I do think that there's just like you and I were talking about the other day at the office. Everything we do, it's all politics. It's geopolitical, right? So we're coming in to protect Taiwan because we know that there's a risk because we know how big China is. China could essentially destroy them, but is that risk going to be worth the reward?
Well, I don't think China wants to destroy them. They want to take them because they want that precious resource. Because I mean, as he said, you think so?
Are y'all at liberty to say? Because I'm in the dark. And
I don't know.
Somebody put the light on me. Put the light on me.
I don't know if there's and she might know more than me. I've been out for 5 years, but just from the surface level, right? If one of the main reasons why they wanted to take them back was to get that resource, because as you said, as we always say, AI is the new plug, that is the new drug, right? Yeah. It's the war of AI. Everyone's trying to build that AI faster, better, and they want to get to it first, right? You need those semiconductors and those microprocessors to power that, right? We're in the middle of a digital arms race, is what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. That's what it comes down to. We can't let
Taiwan's
China.
The dealer.
Boom. There you go. You go. But what's going on? China looking for reactions. Yeah. Yeah. That came from Toto on IG. But I know the Biden administration has been doing a big push to bring the production of those microprocessors back to the US.
Right.
And Taiwan has been making a big stink about it because that's really our only incentive to keep protecting them, right? Because if they're not producing 90% of the world's microprocessors like they are now, what incentive do we have to keep protecting them?
Right.
Could you blame them?
No, I don't blame them at all.
Taking that away from Taiwan also removes jobs from their economy.
It does. It can. Well, yes. I don't know if I can say shatter the economy, but it would definitely make an impact. Because I don't know their economy like that, so I don't know what else they export to across the world. But I think, yeah, you're right. I mean, you're losing jobs at a micro level. right? That's definitely going to impact their local economy.
Right.
Macro, well, I think macro, I mean, that just opens them up for just China to just come in and like, all right, you're mine again.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, man. So again, the takeaway from that tech news you could use is a lot of people, you know, in this whole election season, they gotta know what these policies are, man, because this is the type of stuff that happens. You
Right.
feel me?
In a major way.
Yeah, man. So now the next topic we get into, this is the main reason why I invited Bobby to join us. So according to the Army, an Army press statement released earlier this month, the U.S. Army will spend nearly $100 million to equip, train, and field the system dubbed the Terrestrial Layer System Brigade Combat Team Manpack. Say that 5 times fast. The
When you say
Manpack is
when you say terrestrial, are you talking about outer space? Just asking.
no. Inside
Thank you.
of our space. Inside of our space.
Inside the space.
That
Got
would be extraterrestrial, sir.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
ET.
There you go. Phone
Got
home.
it.
So the Manpack is designed by Mastodon Design, a subsidiary of defense contractor Khaki. So basically, this is an electronic. Matter of fact, you explain what this is, Bobby. That's why I invited you on.
Bobby, this is your
So-
lane, your head.
All right, gentlemen, let me school you. Let me give you some tech news you can use. So
Hey.
this Manpack is gonna be it works as a jammer and a scanner. So there's gonna be a preset of frequency loads that get put inside of this device, and you're able to walk around with it. Those BCTs, those are your brigade combat teams. Those are people on ground. These are troops on ground walking, doing scans. And so what they do is they're gonna scan certain areas where they're able to go in and identify different frequencies that can essentially detonate an IED, and it provides the explosive device. And so these man packs can use to scan, but they can also use, once identified, they can use it to jam. So that signal is no longer going to be able to go to that IED, detonating it.
Boom.
So we used to
Electromagnetic warfare, right? That's what we talking.
electronic warfare, yes.
Electronic
And
warfare. Okay.
the cyber realm has really changed in the last 10 years or so, and I would say that um, AI being a an item coming on board, all right, and being able to use this, our enemies have gotten wiser to our tactics, and because of that, we always have to stay one step ahead of them.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
we used to be able to use this system called a Duke. Duke sat in the back of the Humvee. And what this did is similar to what the Manpack does, which is scan presets of different frequencies known in the area. But a lot of times it would also jam friendly communications. That can be an issue. However, this Duke sat in the back of the Humvee, and what it would do is create a 300-meter bubble, assuming you're in an open space, a 300-meter bubble around your convoy. And what it would do, it would block any of those transmission frequencies going to that IED trying to be detonated. Now, once you came out of that 300-meter bubble, that IED would be detonated then, and hopefully by then that idiot that's trying to detonate it goes and stands by it and pushes a button. I can only hope. They'd be like, "Oh, something went wrong."
And see, the reason why I wanted to share this, right? Tech news you could use. One thing that just happened surrounding the military is they made it the government made it mandatory to where all of our males, when they turn 18, they automatically get enrolled in selective service, right? And there's a lot of stuff going on because military has been struggling meeting their recruitment numbers. That's a step. Earlier this year, I know for a fact the Air Force have been asking retirees to come back, right? Is I wanted to put this out there, right? Because we got kids, uncles, aunties, nephews, nieces, cousins, all kind of people that might be in the military. We got 2 veterans right here, right? So I wanted our folks to know, like, we're making investment in tech to protect our families, right? Because we got family going out there fighting for our freedoms. We get to talk trash the way we do about certain parties back and forth, but we only get to do that because we got freedom, right?
Freedom.
Um,
Right.
and this is something I wanted to share because, as you know, I project, and I'm throwing it out there. Hate me, love me, whatever. That was the first step before we get to a conscription era, right? I.e., the draft.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
I'm about to say,
the step.
it's the draft. It's the draft. Point blank.
It's the first step, man. I need
Yeah.
you automatically enrolled before I got to draft you.
But even when you turn 18 and you graduate from high school, you automatically have to do that, even when there wasn't the draft,
Yeah, you
right?
had to sign up and you had to go paperwork, but now it's happening automatically.
Automatic. Right.
Yes,
Automatically.
automatically.
Like, like, congratulations, just turned 18. Boom, you're going to the military. Wait, what? What about my college? Nope, nope. We're at war. We need bodies. Your
Yup,
body,
yup.
somebody, my body.
And
But
Bobby,
nah,
I want to ask you this question: do you think it's far fetched that we will not get to a point, or that we will get to a point like some countries have conscriptions where no matter what, you have, well, males, normally it's the males, you have to serve a minimum of years by a certain, no, typically it's like before the age of 27. You have to do at least 2 or 3 years. It's mandatory in countries. Have you ever been in a country where you've seen that?
Um, Israel is like that. And it's not just men, it's women.
I didn't even know that. See, in
Everybody,
Korea, it's the men.
everybody
It's optional for
serves
women in Korea.
the country.
Yep.
Everybody serves the country. It's a
Yep.
mandatory two years of service to your country. I don't know if you're asking me if I agree with that, or if you're just asking me if I know about that, or if we're going to get to a point where that could be it.
I'm
Um,
asking you, do you think we'll get to that point that we will have that here in the US?
no, I don't think so, and I'll tell you why. Because our military has been full blown all volunteer force since after Vietnam. We haven't had a reason to draft. I think that because of the way the political background is now, I think you're going to unfortunately kind of step on some toes where people are like, oh, I should have a right to not serve my country. Eh, you're going to have people whining and bitching. Excuse me, I apologize. You're going to have people.
yeah, go ahead. We
Go
say
ahead,
shit all the
speak freely.
time.
You're gonna have people bitching that, oh, it's my right to not want to serve the country. Yeah, that's true, but freedom comes at a price.
It
Um,
does.
True,
everything that we do,
true.
it's because somebody shed blood before we got here. And that's
There
not
you
a pretty
go.
sight. That's nothing you want to talk about. But if we want to continue having the freedom that we do in America, because America is different than any other part of the world, ain't
Yeah.
nobody screaming and hollering trying to get into Venezuela. No, they're here.
True,
They're
true.
com- they're coming here.
We got
Yeah.
good
So
beaches.
um,
We got good beaches.
freedom comes at a price,
It
and
does.
I think that if shit was to truly pop off around the world, what better than to have all of your local, quote unquote, local militias, all of your armed citizens be able to stand up in arms regardless of skin color, race, nationality, origin, or religion. You're going to stand hand in hand and you're going to fight by your brother and
Yep.
by your sister to defend the nation.
Right.
I think if
Okay.
it took it that far. So
Okay. What's your thoughts on that, Corey?
Honestly, um, I I'm when I graduated from high school, I wanted to go to the military. I wanted to become a Marine. Because of health issues, I couldn't. But I do believe that there are individuals that need to have they ass sent to the military for fucking discipline reasons. Because no, no, serious, serious.
Yeah,
I've seen
yeah.
people who've gone to the military and came out and they were spectacular. This guy right here, what I say? Because I remember me and Geronimo, we was in the same English class, and his ass was rebellion. But he
Whoa, whoa,
came out. Oh, look at him, tech guy. This guy, yeah. And I truly believe, not just you should always want to serve the country that you're in because of the fact that we have freedoms that Bobby said it best. People have sweat and died for. You know what I'm saying? Um, there are certain things that I don't agree about whatever the country does in certain areas, but that's my own thing. However, if you can't serve in the military, serve at the post office. If you can't serve at the post office, serve as like what is it? Because now they make it where you have to have so many hours of community service before you can even graduate from high school. And I believe
Really?
yeah, you
Huh?
have it's service is in order to become a good human being, you have to be able to serve in a compromising and uncomfortable situation and come
Yeah.
out with good intentions and not
Mhm.
wanting to do harm to anyone. Like I worked customer service in a fast food restaurant for 5 years. That humbled me.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
believe that that's what to make a great nation, some people need to be humbled.
No, you're right. You're right.
If
Because
if you
some
are
of these young people, man, they have some disciplinary issues, man. So you know
Right.
what? I agree with you. I agree with you. And speaking of protecting this nation, I think it's time for some off script topics. What you think? Because
Ah,
Bobby, she's been kind of dropping some breadcrumbs here and there. I think it's time to go off script. What's our
off
first
script.
off script topic, sir?
All right. So, um, look, okay. There's a couple of them that I put up. One is really dear to me. But let's go with the Secret Service Director, Kimberly Cheeto resigns. Okay.
mm,
Mm. Mm.
Um, I'm keep it real with you. I think that was her best move for somebody to be able to get that close to a former president and running candidate for the next seat. And they got somebody just by the turn, one wrong turn, he could have been gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And you're the, what I'm saying, director, you have to sit down. If not, then you know what I'm saying, what kind of respect would you have amongst your peers?
Good point. What you think about that, Bobby?
I think he said it good. I think that Donald Trump was a millimeter away from some devastating stuff, things that would have affected the country, would have affected his family, and those who support him. It would have been quite devastating. I think what Kimberly Cheadle did was good. I think that she took accountability, which is what we need. We need people to be like, you know what? I effed up. I made a
Mhm.
mistake. I had people that were supposed to be over here on this slope of this roof, and then we had, you know, people that who were attending the rally saying, "Hey, something's up over here," and everybody just disregarding them. Like
Yeah.
Right.
that's not something to play about, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
like you knew something was up and you turned a blind eye to it. Step your ass on down and
Mm.
get somebody up in there who knows what the hell that they're doing,
Yeah.
you know.
Point blank
Good
period.
point. Good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you take it for the team. I mean, us coming from the military, I'm familiar with that, right? If you leading the team, leading the shop, it could be someone that you weren't even around. They do something as the leader, you got to be held accountable, and you will be held accountable. So I think it
Yeah.
was one of those. You might as well jump off the shit before you're forced to walk the plank.
There you go. I agree.
Nah, good point. Good point.
Right on, right on. Now to go into another section of our script. It seems like when Donald Trump comes to town, some shit happens. Ohio police fatally shoot a man a mile away from Republic National Convention.
Ah,
All right, now I'm not knocking Donald Trump. Again, I'm not voting for him, y'all. But and I'm not this. I'm not again. I'm not anti Donald Trump. But there's a lot of shit going on, bro, in this world, and this is bad because why would they even try to compare it to the Republic National Convention that a man was fatally shot a mile away from it? I don't know, but that's just not cool. And it's in Milwaukee where everybody had their earpiece on
ooh,
with the
ooh, ooh.
yeah.
That wound is still kind of fresh, ain't it?
Which one? The earpiece?
Yeah.
Nonetheless,
Goodness.
however, I just think again, because I'm very sympathetic. I wish death on nobody. You know what I'm
Mm-mm.
saying? But I really think the media, and that's why I'm glad that we're doing what we're doing. We got to do a better job of just putting information out there. This gentleman, he was shot by police, but they had no reason by. I mean, Ohio police, well, had no reason being over in the area where they were, but the media just decides to go ahead and put Republican National Convention in there to make the news. All right.
I mean, hey, you got to get them views.
Yeah, but at what cost? That's one thing I don't want to
Yeah,
ever do. I don't want to ever just say something just for the views. I don't do it for the gram.
nah,
You know what I'm saying? Like
nah.
what did Kendrick say? I don't do it for the gram. I do it for Compton or you know what I'm saying?
Hey,
Pointblankperiod.com.
no, you right.
Yes, sir.
Trying to get that shock
So
value, right?
Yeah.
Say what, Bobby?
Come on, Bobby. Come on, Bobby. I know you got something to say. Talk to me.
I
Say,
do, I
hey,
do. I'm trying to tread the water a little bit. Want to make
don't tread the.
sure
Hey,
that
I invited you here. I invited you
no,
here to be you.
we
Yes.
we had this conversation last week, and I know you went completely off the not so much off script, but you went completely in the opposite direction. Corey, I asked Geronimo. I said, "Who do you think is the biggest enemy of United States citizens?"
Ooh, good question. Good question.
You asking me?
She's asking you that.
I
I
am.
gave her my answer before. I'll share what I said, but I'll let.
It's the biggest enemy of the United States. It's the United
Mhm.
States. It's internal.
Ooh, that's a hell of a perspective, though.
So I told him the biggest enemy for the United States citizens. I didn't say the Congress, I didn't say Senate or the House, none of that. It's the
Mm.
media. The media
I
and them
mm,
pushing lies out. Never even when I was growing up, we were taught to just love each other. Nobody looked at you because of, what you not so much what you looked like, or you got treated a certain way because of how you acted,
mm,
and I was telling Geronimo that I felt like some of this stuff, like, Imma just put it out there. Democrats were like, "Oh my god, Donald Trump got shot at." Well, shit, y'all been trying to tell everybody he's the next Hitler, and he's a fascist, and he's a Nazi. You've been calling him all these names and trying to compare him to somebody
just
who
something
was
hateful.
gassing 6 million Jews. I'm sorry, I don't remember the last time Donald Trump walked in and was like, "Hey guys, I think y'all should die." What?
No,
But then
you're
you're
right.
surprised somebody took a hit at him? You've been lying to people, and I'm not just saying that just Democrats, I didn't try and put there it's anybody. What happened to
Yeah,
journalism?
yeah,
I get we got
Good
freedom of
point.
speech,
Yeah.
but what did you think was gonna happen?
yeah.
That's all I'm
Some people
saying.
shouldn't have platforms, and I agree with
Yeah.
you with
Yeah.
that because of the fact that um, if you can use your words to destroy somebody and it's not true, then woe unto you. There's this
Yeah.
Mhm.
phrase that
Yeah.
me and my wife say: a lie will travel across the world faster before the truth get up to put on its shoes.
Mm.
And
Mm.
And
the moment the truth comes into play, you've done heard the lie 97 times. You're not even willing to hear the truth. You're
this
not.
is
And,
true.
and at that point in time, you're programming the viewers or the listener's mind.
Yeah,
Repetition is the key. That's what we learn, right? That's how we train in the military. Repetition,
right.
repetition, you'll believe it. Good
Yeah,
point. Yeah. I can see that. We need to do a better job out there in media, or just stay
yeah,
tuned in to Technically Speaking. We got you. We gonna keep it
yeah.
real. Come on now.
Keep it real. And you know what I'm saying? Um,
By the way, if you're on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe and click that notification bell to stay
there
locked
you
in
go.
with us. Oh yeah.
You already know. So because of the fact that I got a hard stop at 4:30, we're gonna move on to the next topic.
Let's go.
Kamala, whoever you want to call her, how she did it, what she did it. Kiki, her campaign has raised $100 million in one day.
One day,
Now,
but what caused that to happen?
because of the fact that again, Biden had to step down, and I said it 2 weeks ago. Like I said, Kiki need to come and run this,
You did say
run,
that. You did say that.
go ahead, Biden step aside. But the reason why I say that is this: um, I read somewhere, and I don't know exactly where it was, but they said they were going to withhold funding for the Democratic Party until because of Biden's inability to be able to not just run the race, but run the race well. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Campaign. And it's like I was like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Get somebody there that's going to be able to show strength.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
You did say
saying?
that. You did say that.
Because that wasn't it. Like,
That ain't
bruh,
it.
like and
That ain't
then
it.
and that it wasn't just a debate. It was after debate and things after, and then he got COVID, and then it's like, um, I'm glad he stepped down and gave Kamala the reins, or Kamala, whoever you guys want to, Kiki, whoever want to. I call her Kiki because I like that song. I like the name Kiki.
Every time you say that, I want to say, Kiki, do
Kiki,
you
do
love
you
me?
love me?
Mm.
I
So
get you. I
no,
get you.
and because I agreed to you. What I said was the people around him that love him should be like, hey, papa, uncle,
Yeah,
whatever, brother, sit down,
yeah,
relax. You did your time, man. He did over 50 years of service to this nation, man. You did
right,
enough. You did,
right.
So
relax, dude. Enjoy
as
them
a wife,
platinum years.
I question Joe Biden. I'm like, as a wife, how do you sit there and watch your husband f up so
Husband.
much and you just chilling? And you
Yeah,
just chilling.
Ooh,
If I saw
ooh,
my husband hurting, falling all over himself, looking ridiculous in front of world leaders, I would not be encouraging him to continue doing that. I'd be like, sweetheart, listen, because I love you,
yeah,
you need to hear
mm,
this.
good point.
You need to hear these hard words.
yeah,
Is the risk of putting somebody on that platform like Joe Biden, where the world can see how weak the United States looks, that makes us look vulnerable?
It
Are we
does.
open to being attacked?
right.
You
I
know,
mean, because even I said
and
it
I say
before, it makes
that
us look like candy. It
we're
makes us
easy
look like
targets.
candy. Yeah, that's what it makes us
It looks
look
very
like.
soft. It looks very soft. It looks very soft.
So, all right, I'm gonna say this, right? Because before I saw some information that came out today, I thought that there wasn't anything the Democrats could do to stand a chance, right? I didn't think anything could go up against the big bad Trump, right? As some would call him. But to my surprise, some numbers came out on the poll that Reuters did, and as of today, I don't know if it changed, but Harris is actually leading in the polls. Um, I'm gonna tell you, I didn't see that coming. I did not see that coming. I didn't think they could stand a chance, right? Because you know my beliefs, and I've explained this before. It was it all comes down. I feel like it comes down to who has the best story, right? Um,
Right.
and she has a pretty cool story, right? She could be potentially the first female president, right? That hits pretty hard, right? First female president, that's cool. Bobby, we got representation, female, right? Uh,
Bobby,
That
like,
could,
nah,
that
nah.
could hit. And not only that, first black female president. Pretty cool story, right? I still thought the whole I took a bullet for freedom trumped that. No pun intended.
Pun intended.
But she
And
is leading in
he
the
used
polls.
that. He did
Huh?
use that. He's like,
I
I took that book.
told you he was gonna do
Bruh,
it.
when I saw that, I was like, somebody's watching. Somebody's watching, technically speaking.
Hey,
Because he
I
said, hey,
mean,
he said, I took that bullet for democracy. I was like, yep,
I thought that you had to. Whoever's on his PR team, you had to run that.
yeah,
But so she's only leading by 2 points, but a lead is a lead, right? But let me share this too. According to Reuters, 56% of registered voters agree with the statement that Harris, 59, was mentally sharp and able to deal with challenges, compared to 49% who said the same of Trump at 78.
right.
So when I read that, I was like, I didn't look at it like that because I was so fixated on that story aspect, right? So where people are thinking about that. Is she mentally sharper because she does have some form of youth on her side? Because 59 is not the, it's not a spring chicken,
Right.
but it's
But
definitely not 78.
you also got to look
Let me
at,
stir the pot.
go
Let
ahead,
me stir
Bobby.
the pot for a second. Let me stir this pot. All right. Let me stop
Yeah.
you for just a second. How did How did Kiki get into the White House?
I
Come
thought
on.
How
she
did
was
you get
voted.
in?
No, she was
Say
that
it.
was Obama. I
Say-
mean, Biden
she was
picked
a
her.
DEI
Don't
hire.
say it. Don't say
Oh,
it.
hell yeah, I am
Say
saying
it.
it. I am saying it because you know what? I think that's the biggest bullshit card anybody can play is to hire somebody based on what they look like. Are you able to do the job? Are you capable? Do you have the experience? No, you should not be in this position. That goes with Kimberly Cheadle as well. Don't give a two shits if you're a woman. I don't.
Ooh,
What
ooh.
you got
See,
in
we
between
shouldn't
your
say that.
leg, what you got in between your legs has zero to do with your operability in this role. Can you do it?
Then if
Who cares if it's a man or woman, if you're black or white, Asian, Indian, who gives a damn? Are
Oh, I'm
you
with you on that.
capable? Can you be held accountable? Can you stand in this position and take the heat? Because if not, get your ass out the kitchen.
what makes you think she can't is the question. Because look at Donald Trump when he first got into office, he didn't have a political background,
Sure
and
didn't.
he
Thank God.
from
Thank God.
2016 in
Thank
2016.
God. It takes a
You
lot.
feel what I'm saying?
I own two businesses. I am not nowhere near Donald Trump. And I could tell you what, you gotta make some hard decisions under pressure sometimes. Some
Oh,
things
you
aren't gonna
do.
you're not gonna look good, 24/7. You're not.
Right.
But we already know what the United States was like when he was in office. We're all pretending like we don't know what it was like. Gas prices were down, inflation was down. I had money in my pocket. And
I did get a
now
lot of tax write-offs. So I told you, hey, my taxes
it's
were low.
rough.
Right.
Now
I
I'm
I
looking
get
at
the
my
money.
tax returns like, damn, man, where did my money go?
I
It's
get the money
it's
part.
gone.
I get the money part. Right.
Mhm.
However, what about the unity within the country?
Yeah, that was
Brings me
gone.
back
That
to
was
the
gone. I didn't see that. And I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I did not see that.
What
I
about?
saw a
I
lot of
mean,
division during his
it,
run.
if we
but
need
why
to
is
stand
that?
united,
We go
it's
back to the
because
media.
we go back to the media. And
Go back
media's
to the
these
media.
people need to be held accountable as well. However, the fact
Mhm.
is, when you have a president that say illegals and say this and say that, it doesn't make it doesn't look like United States of America. And we are
What
supposed to be united.
what do you
I
mean
mean,
by illegals?
I mean, it's in the
when
name.
yeah, but when Donald Trump goes and he said
What's
the
wrong what's
speech,
wrong with saying somebody's illegal? Did you not break a United States law to come over here? You are
true indeed. But what
illegally
about the kids?
illegally in this country.
True, I get that, but the thing about it is we should have sense of integrity of how we speak of them, even though they are in this country illegally. We don't, we shouldn't have any ill malice to them because they came from another
Mhm.
country trying to seek refuge. So I get it. If they're not supposed to be here legally, then we have ways to be able to. That's where ICE and all these other corporations come into come into play. But we should not ever in a mass media, which we're talking about, disrespect someone.
True.
And calling a vice president a DEI for hire is
Mhm.
disrespectful.
That is disrespectful. That
Is
is
it? Yeah.
disrespectful.
I
Because
would never go.
if someone said that to me in my place of business and where I worked, oh, I'm putting an IG complaint, which I have
Right.
done before. But
Like when Hillary ran
Shoot.
against President Clinton, right? I mean, not when Hillary Clinton ran against President President Trump,
Trump.
right?
Mhm.
There was disrespect coming out. The smear campaigns was disgrace on both ends. And I'm like, do you guys know how we look to other countries
yeah,
when
we definitely that doesn't
we
make us
don't
look unified.
inside your house? Just think about it. Inside your house, a son or a daughter
Mhm.
will never disrespect their parents publicly, right? Because the parents are the leader of the house.
Good
The
point.
country should act the same way. Now I understand we you may not like, you may not respect, you may not look at their views or everything, but
Mhm.
don't go out disrespect.
You ain't got
I
to be
mean,
disrespectful.
you ain't
Yeah.
got to be disrespectful. There's a way you could do it tasteful, but to call her a DEI hire, and a lot of people running with it, and I get what they're saying. Like she didn't look like, or she wasn't the she wasn't the best candidate to be picked, but she's there. right? She's the vice president, so let's give her that respect, right? When Donald
Good
Trump was
point. Good
president,
point.
when
She, I
Donald Trump was
mean,
president, and people didn't respect his title, they still call him Donald Trump, a President Trump. When
and
Obama was in office, and there was a whole lot of Mr. Obama, not a lot of President Obama,
oh,
but
that's very
still
disrespectful.
he was still president. I still
Mhm.
call Donald Trump former
President
President
Trump.
Donald
Yep.
Trump because of the fact that he was the leader of this nation.
You give him the
And in
respect
order,
he earned. I will give Trump the respect he earned as a former president, President Trump, right? So every president or should get that same respect that he should get. I see you. I get
Mhm.
that point. Those antics don't unify a country, right? Being disrespectful to your fellow countrymen, right? I don't think
Mhm.
shows unity within the country. Good point right there. Unstoppable Season on IG said, big facts, CG. We need unity. Honestly, I'm kind of torn because Trump is divisive at the same time. Economy way up, but good points. Yeah, it's like a seesaw, right? Yeah, economy was doing great, but I think we did as a country get very comfortable disrespecting each other. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. And not only that, I
But
remember
that
the
goes
whole
back to the
China
media
virus
lying
thing.
to people. That kind of leads back to the media is able to put people and pit people against each other. They're over
But
here
did he
too
not say
busy
what he
trying to
said though?
tell what's
Did he
that?
not say what he said though?
The
About, I
illegals?
mean, because I don't think I'll give you this one. I'll give you this one. He started when coronavirus popped off, right? He called it the China virus. And then what happened
Oh,
after that? Asian people started getting picked on, beat up, stuff like that, right? Words are very powerful,
who
right?
was doing that? Who was doing that?
Other Americans.
yeah,
So
Come
Americans were
on,
doing it.
come on. Every single video that I saw of Asians getting like they were getting treated terribly, terribly.
they're getting
But I'm
treated
asking you,
horrible.
who was doing it? You're saying Americans, but I need you to get over into the weeds for me.
To be honest, I don't
Who was
remember.
doing
I just saw stuff and I hated seeing it. I hated seeing it. But I don't think it, regardless of who did it, right? I don't think it helps if you call a virus that's causing a global pandemic
it? Hmm.
the China virus, because now you're putting a bad spotlight on anyone with Asian descent, right? That
Uh,
you're the
that's not
reason
their
why
fault.
I lost a family member. Say what?
I said that's not even it. If it came from Wuhan, China, and the World Health Organization already came out saying yes, we were already doing stuff in Wuhan. It was getting paid by federal funding by the United States. It was in fact made in China and then spread throughout the rest of the world. Remember when that
But you
came
don't
out? They
have
were
to. You
trying
don't
to
have
say
to.
that
You don't have to fan the flame, though. You don't have to fan the flame when we're
maybe not.
already in a divisive. When we're already in divisive mode, right? People are
Mhm.
angry and they need someone to dump that anger. I don't think it helps to now put, yeah, it came from China. It's China virus. So if they look Asian, right? Because we're
Mhm.
so ignorant here, we can be a lot of ignorant in this country to where we may treat other Asians that aren't even Chinese
Yeah.
thinking going after them, right? And that's what was
Mhm.
happening. I don't want my fellow Asian Americans going through that. We've
For
felt
sure.
plenty of that
Mhm.
ourselves, right? We don't
Yeah,
need that. And again, it comes down to words, right? We can choose we don't have to agree at all,
Yeah.
period. But we
Right.
can choose our words wisely and not create hate amongst ourselves, right? It's a
self.
bad look,
Right,
man. It's a bad look.
right.
Mhm.
We it could have been why not say the virus that came from China, right? Versus the China virus, because we have a lot of people here that just won't think like that, right?
Yeah.
And it was happening. That wasn't a good look. The person that's leading this nation should unite this nation. I said it
Yeah,
before. They should unite this nation. And there was never, I don't recall the time he came out and was like, hey, we need to, I can't do the thing. But I never saw him come out and say anything to help stop it. They could have
Mhm.
helped. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Would
just
it have,
saying.
right.
or would people already have this preconceived idea that, oh, person is the enemy? Regardless, remember we talked about this. Whatever lies you're being fed 10 times over here, this one piece of truth ain't gonna fix it. It's not. you're going to continue to go on in your own ways and think what you want, regardless of the truth being presented to you.
I mean, I'll offer you this, right? The last time I saw this country united was right after 9/11. I would say Bush did a damn good job saying the right words to bring us together. Haven't seen it since then, right? That
Right.
person can sway how we act as a nation, right? Whoever's in that seat. Bush did a good job, man. That was the the one and only time in my life, right, in this world, that I saw some sort of unity in this country. That was the last time. We weren't bickering over red or blue or Asian, black, Mexican, white. It was America. They came at us. It's time to get them as one united country. We haven't been like that ever since. And Bush, he could have fumbled that bag, if you will, right? But he didn't. He said the right words that we needed to hear as a country, and we all came together and we was ready. I remember when that happened. I got my deployment bag. I'm ready. Let's go. Let's go. We gonna smoke them out of their holes, baby.
I would love to see that. I would love to see that happen again too. I want to see, I know last week though Trump did say at the RNC that he doesn't want to be a president to half of the country. He wants to be a president for the whole country.
Whole country.
Well, it's about time he says a message like that. It's about
He
time.
says, I'm not here for you. I'm here for you and you and you and you. It didn't matter if you voted for me or not. I'm going to show you what's going on. I'm going to make sure that these things are going to be put in place. At the end of the day, everybody's going to vote for who they vote for. But
he could have said that while he was the acting president. Would have helped.
It doesn't help when there's so much fighting happening. Like even internally,
we got a couple of more comments on IG. Unstoppable Season, do you think we'll ever get accountability within law enforcement? Rest in peace, Sonia Massey. And then he said, do you think Trina rhetoric? Trump rhetoric. He says, do you think the Trump rhetoric causes an increase in police shootings? I mean, you kind of implied that earlier when what you were talking about, right? With the person that got unalived, right? Maybe. I mean, words matter, man. Words matter. Yeah. The things we say can actually influence people to do certain things, right? That leader has that influence. Trump has a very powerful mouthpiece, man. This is very true, right? I mean, he wouldn't even denounce racist groups, right? And I think, Bobby, we talked real shortly about the Charlottesville riot, right? And he was being asked to denounce a racist group, but he wouldn't. And I get it from his perspective. These people voted for me, so I'm not gonna say anything against them, but I don't know,
this
man.
Is where he made the statement. There were fine people on both sides. Like, it was very gray. Yeah, he made a very gray statement.
What up?
Yeah, yo, real quick, I have to bounce because I have a 10. I had a 5:30, but let's get this going back up next week because this is good conversation.
It is good combo.
R.I.P. to Sonia Massey. I was going to talk about that, but Gmo, take the reins on that because it's fresh, so we can go ahead and get that going. And I will chime in with you later, Bobby. It was a pleasure speaking with you. I will look forward to you being on the part 2 of this.
We're gonna do part 2. We're gonna sign everybody off, right? We'll be back normal time Monday, right?
Right. Normal time
Monday. Talk about that Monday, 6:30. If you available, Bobby, let's do it. Everyone on IG, thanks for showing love. Facebook, YouTube, thanks for checking in with us. And that's it for this episode of Technically Speaking. Monday, 6:30 Central Standard Time, 4:30 Pacific Standard Time, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. We'll see you next week. Y'all be safe out there.
Peace.
Bye.
Holla.